It's like you just drew something that looks like a basketball jersey, and the NBA just, kicks down the door saying, "What you drawing?" And it's like, well, I drew a simple basketball jersey, and they're like, "You just stole Michael Jordan's outfit." And it's like, what? Hello everyone and welcome back to DCM, Doritos, Connections, and Mountain Dew, your favorite local video game show in a new, totally temporary background that's probably going to change next episode. I am your host, Howard Miller.
And I'm your co-host, David Scrivani.
Let's get into the news! For our first story, I guess it's not formally announced yet, but I guess one of the features for the animated movie, I think, Batman A Long Halloween, what was it?
The Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween.
Not just any Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween, Part 2, one of the bonus features says there's a trailer for their next animated movie, not yet announced, but Injustice. Now those of you who may not know, Injustice is a fighting game that it was made by the people who made Mortal Kombat, where it's a bunch of DC characters and a new story where Superman becomes evil, very original, and divides the whole entire world of superheroes and villains. From what we can gather, they want to make an animated film of it. But we don't know if it's an adaptation of the games or the comics that came out. Was it with it or before it?
I think the comics started shortly before the game came out, and then it just kept going for like a couple of years.
So if it's based on the comics, you're never going to hear from us again. But if it's based on the games...
I mean, you can hear from me.
Yeah.
I really, really like the Injustice comics. At least the first 3 years. After Tom Taylor left, the last 2 years were a little eh. But... And I think we can agree on this. I don't have any interest in an adaptation of the game itself.
I don't have adaptation. I don't like the plot of Injustice in general.
Oh, well, there you have it.
I just think, like, once you get past the first sentence of Superman gets so mad he splits the world, I just think, okay, we're already doing a lot of leniency on this whole entire plot.
Hold on. Well, that's the thing. That's not what happens, Howard.
Okay, what's happened?
Well, it's established in the comic, Injustice Gods Among Us, Year 1, that the Joker... he decides, you know what, this whole thing with Batman, it ain't really going anywhere. I gotta think big. So he steals some of Scarecrow's spear toxin, combines it, meshes it all together with his Joker toxin, and hits Superman with it. And Superman's like, oh no, Doomsday's about to kill me. He beats Doomsday into space and kills him, and then because it's fear toxin, Joker toxin, it was actually Lois Lane with his unborn child the whole time.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
Also in the news, Saints Row the Third is following in the footsteps of Grand Theft Auto 5 before it, as the remastered version of the game is going to be made available on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It will be joining GTA 5 across 3 console generations now. This remastered version will feature a steady 60 frames per second as well as 4K resolution, not to mention the almost non-existence of any load times thanks to those solid state drives that those consoles are equipped with. I believe that is, I didn't even put the date, but I believe by the time this episode goes out, Saints Row the Third Remastered will be available on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
And in other news, Take-Two Interactive has just announced lofty goals of claiming that by 2024 they will have released 64 games. I'm not joking. I'm not lying. In the next 3 years.
And he does lie to me quite a bit.
I do. Like when I say he's my friend.
Exactly.
Now, this does include their yearly sports games, which, whatever, they're going to exist. But however, it's pretty much a lofty goal considering half their studios crank out like maybe one game a year. Like we have to understand we're being very generous if we're looking at all these games and we're gonna count maybe Grand Theft Auto 6 and maybe BioShock 4. Now, these do include remasters and ports, so that means, I think, what is it? They're porting LA Noire. They're going to give it like the next-gen upgrade. That's included. But like, I need to see what the list is, because they announced 64 games are coming out, and they haven't even listed a single one. But hey, if they can do it, props to them. And our largest news story, probably the saddest one that we can get, is that famed Japanese mangaka Kentaro Miura, famous creator of the legendary series Berserk, has passed away. Now, the reason we bring this up, because, you know, what does Japanese comic books have to do anything, is that, well, this manga is one of the biggest franchises to inspire many fantasy games, including the Dark Souls trilogy and a lot of those Souls games. It's quite sad and quite tragic. He died at a young age. What was it, 56?
56?
56?
No, 54, I think.
54. Oh, that's worse. And it's just kind of tragic that seeing such a creator who was still writing Berserk. Berserk's quality never dropped. He'll now never be able to finish his magnum opus.
It has some of the most jaw-dropping visuals in any manga.
Yes,
I'd say.
His artwork brought medieval stylings to Japan. The only reason Japan even cares about any medieval fantasy, really, is because of Berserk. So whenever you see your Capcoms, your Nintendos care about medieval games, Berserk helped inspire it. And it's very much a shame. If you think now is a good time to read Berserk, I highly implore that you read Berserk. It's while it's very dark and adult-oriented, it's one of probably the best written Japanese comic books you could possibly ever get your hands on. I
myself just started reading it when I heard the news.
Exactly. And they're doing super deluxe manga.
The nice hardcovers?
The hardcovers that have 3 volumes in each. You can get those. They're very nice. They're doing a very good job at republishing them. And it's kind of a loss to see this pro in the industry just pass on so suddenly. So,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace to this legendary man. And now for our next segment, where we got our best friend Jake to discuss and review Resident Evil Village. Check it out.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to DCM, Doritos, Connections, and Mountain Dew, your favorite local video game talk show. Today we have a special treat. We're gonna do big boy thing. So I'm Howard.
I'm David.
And my name is Jake.
Yeah, and we are going to do a review of a video game. That's a first for us.
I know.
I don't think you've ever done that.
Yeah, no, we haven't actually.
Whoever thought we'd talk about video games?
I know, but now we're actually
What kind of nerd would
talking about a specific video game.
We're being professionals here.
Yeah.
Because we want to work for IGN, of course.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Well, I'm sorry, you're a fuddy-duddy who doesn't want to work for Ingd.
I'd rather work for Kotaku, thank you.
Hit the stop
I'd
record
rather
button
not have
and
my
read it.
articles on Palestine taken down.
Instead, I want to talk about stupid things.
Like video games.
You like
global relief efforts. Who needs those?
I'll be Kotaku and talk about how y'all need to stop talking about Lady Dimitrescu. And I'll write 5 articles in a week about it. Welcome to Kotaku.
Wow, this didn't take any time at all to devolve.
No.
No, it's I would say it's Justin's fault, but he's not here yet.
He's not here. Wait, what time is it?
It's I think
okay,
it's like,
it's not 4. No, that clock's wrong.
Is he usually on this?
No.
Okay.
But he was a very entertaining sport.
It's still 10 off, so he has time.
But he's a very entertaining sport for our live action segments. This is going to be a segment for our show.
Yeah.
But when we were doing the live stuff, he was a great help, and he was a great character. But now to be more focused, I know it sounds hypocritical coming from me, but
I know, who would have thought?
Today we're going to review the newest release for Resident Evil Village. We're not doing any spoiler-free stuff. No, we're spoiling everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't care.
If you haven't played the game, go play it.
Spoiler warnings for Resident Evil 4, 5, 7, 8. Any others do you think I should cover?
Why 5?
Because Chris.
Actually, yeah. There's a couple things we can talk about.
All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Did I miss any?
Those are the only real big ones that we would need.
Is 6 canon?
Yeah, but
okay.
No one even remembers what happens in that, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be
I don't think
reviewing.
Capcom even remembers what happened in that. They're trying to distance themselves from that.
They're like, I don't know what the bullet deflecting. I don't know. But yeah, so this is for the 2021 title Resident Evil Village. It's a survival horror game, spooky, always a fun time. So, I guess do we want to kick it off with like just a plot summary?
General impressions.
General impressions.
Game good.
Game. I like game. Actually, you know what? First game I pre-ordered this year.
Really?
Oh wow, yeah.
I had no interest in literally anything else. I don't know if that is either because of my taste, which I don't think. My taste is pretty broad and eclectic, but I just don't think anything has scratched them an itch.
I agree. So far, nothing's really caught my eye this year.
Yeah, I didn't even pre-order it. I was planning on playing it at some point, but like literally the week it was releasing, I'm like, maybe I just go pick it up when it comes out on Friday.
I pre-ordered it like the night before, because I don't normally pre-order games, but once people were talking about it and how good it was during the pre-release stuff, I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get it.
Yeah, I kind of took, was it like Resident Evil 7? And I just went, all right, let me just find that deluxe edition and then click mine. Because if I will say anything, I do love Capcom deluxe editions of games because it's $10 more and there's so much free content that you get with that extra $10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big like concept art pack.
Oh yeah,
That was awesome. I haven't gone through the stuff in Village, but I looked at all the stuff from 7 and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, and you can change all the saving mechanisms, all the typewriters to be tape recorders, like in 7. It's very cool. So like, we were all in it with the first impressions of the game. And I guess I guess I don't know if this is in it, but there's like a recap of 7 that's only in the deluxe edition, which I thought.
Is that only the deluxe edition?
I think it's in the regular, because I have the regular, and
so then
it
I
asked you at the beginning.
Then I probably misread the DLC.
I think the thing you're thinking of is that like big, like file that like Zoe writes, and it's detailing the events.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
It's like
thinking
the
of.
Baker incident report or something.
Yeah, so this is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, which 7 is about the main character.
About Hicks in the South.
Basically.
It's a soft remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre
For like
1 and 2 and Evil Dead.
Yeah. It's about Ethan Baker. His wife goes missing, and why did
Ethan Winters?
Ethan Winters? There we go. I'm thinking of Baker. Listen. Why did I say Ethan Baker? It's the Baker household,
it's the
right?
Baker family,
Okay, so my mind is getting too ahead.
There's a lot of names here.
There's a lot of names. So Ethan goes to find his wife because what was she? Was she like a secret agent? Is that what it was?
So initially, it was like she went missing prior to the game starting for like a year or something, and she like sends him like an email saying not to like try and find her or anything.
And of course, our main protagonist is Ethan Winters, the smartest man alive. He decides,
I don't even think he has a profession, really. He's just kind of a guy.
But in 8, they established he's part of the military now.
Yeah, like in 8.
What?
Yeah, in the beginnings, he talks about getting military training.
Yeah,
but before that, he's not like a cop or anything. He's just a guy.
I thought that was like the training he had was like after the events of 7.
No, that's what we mean. Yeah.
That's what I mean. But like 7, he's just
an ordinary
dude.
guy. Yeah,
He's just
He
dude.
strikes me as like
with some brown loafers and a white collared shirt, and that's basically it.
He seems like the guy that would own like an herbal tea shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see him as like a reporter or something.
Reporter. Well, considering how well versed he is with the English lexicon, actually, I say no. He's not a good reporter.
Fair enough.
So he goes to the Baker house, and monsters ensue because they're all infected with a bioweapon called the moss.
The mold.
The mold. It's the mold.
How can you forget the mold? Everyone loves that.
Yeah, and then of course it's a game. So he goes, well, I solved everything, and then between 7 and 8,
They have a little baby.
He finds his wife, resident boulder puncher, Chris Redfield.
Comes to save them at the end.
Yeah.
Comes to save them, and he takes them and puts them under, I guess, the bioweapon witness protection program.
The umbrella
Some
witness
equivalent of
protection.
that, yeah.
And,
All the way to Europe.
All the way, yeah.
and they're all just chilling, they're vibing, Ethan's with his wife, and now we're at the point of Resident Evil 8 where Chris just comes in and then just axes off his wife and takes the baby and says, "Bye, Ethan," and Ethan goes, "No," and then he gets knocked out.
That's her hook for the story, because up until that point, we don't know why he did that, and going into it, it feels kind of like a really dumb teaser you see for like a commercial for a TV show where it's like, like, oh no, so and so murdered this person. What will happen next? And then you watch it and it's like, oh no, it was just like an accident, or it was like a body double or something. And
Okay.
Well, that's exactly the hook they gave in the trailer for the
But
the
also,
game.
to be totally honest, we must reiterate this in the beginning. Ethan is very dumb.
yes.
So like, I don't.
So is Chris.
Positive vibes on this
Yeah.
game. We're doing really good.
We like the game.
We love the game. And I guess that about wraps it up for a
think
review.
so.
I think so.
This has been our first DCM game review.
Yeah.
Oh, the very first.
Yeah,
Wow.
because we just do like overviews or like quick recaps of like, hey, what are we
Oh,
been
I
playing?
see, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really reviewed anything.
Like a new current game.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so I guess with that out of the way, make sure to I guess like, subscribe, tell us how much you guys like Resident Evil Village. Dave's probably gonna not read it, but it's
Yeah.
okay. I'll just if you send a really bad one, I'll text it and be like, look at this joke.
Yeah, and then I'll message
idiot.
you and be like, hey, shut up.
Yeah, and you'd be like, hey, mister, that's not very nice. With that out of the way, I'm Howard.
And I'm David.
And I'm Jake.
You have a good night, everyone.
See ya.
And now that we're back and we're still on the topic of Resident Evil Village, we need to discuss probably the biggest thing in our next segment.
Controversy.
Exactly. No bullying segment this time. We're going to discuss the amount of plagiarism brought up in Resident Evil Village.
Well,
Now-
potential plagiarism.
Potential, but there's been a lot. Now, I guess we can start with the premise, because Resident Evil Village is basically, the village premise is just basically the main bad guy used a bunch of people as lab experiments to create monsters, and now there's a whole village full of them, right? We can just say that in like the most
Yeah.
simplest terms possible.
I wouldn't consider that a spoiler.
Yeah, that's not, not a spoiler. So, of course, there's things ranges from draugrs to werewolves to walking puppets, right? So, let's just start with, I guess, the easiest one we can get out of the way, is the character Heisenberg.
Best character.
Best character. Comically, everyone has pointed out, he just looks like Dante from Devil May Cry 5. To the point where they even modded Devil May Cry 5 so Dante can have Heisenberg's outfit. Pretty funny meme, good meme. I liked it. But then we get to the next serious one, which is Lady Dimitrescu, the vampire lady that was basically the main promotional material for the whole entire game. I'm pretty sure this is the art book or some artwork in-game is basically copied from a French magazine from the early 1900s. Now, to the point where the dress, the hat, the hair was basically the same thing. Now, this was concept art, not the final design. But people were pointing out, wow, they literally just stole from a 30s or 40s fashion catalog. And my response is, do you know how much people steal from old fashion catalogs? A lot. There's fashion trends in animation where they steal from fashion catalogs.
How do you steal an actual physical outfit for a character design?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how that works.
They just drew a dress that was hyper similar.
That's not how that works.
And that's
That's not how plagiarism works.
That's
Sorry.
not how plagiarism
I mean, if that's how plagiarism works, I'm going to show up tomorrow in that Fitchburg State T-shirt that Howard has on, and he's going to be like, "Hey, you plagiarized that."
And he'd be like, Lamau, no!
That's how ridiculous this sounds.
It's very weird, but maybe this would be the thing if it was a vampire character from the 30s and they plagiarized the design, and it was also Lady Dimitrescu, who is also a vampire lady, maybe. But
it's just the outfit.
It just seems like
It's
they
just
just
the
copied
outfit.
the outfit and then called it a day. And if we're gonna go with the character's backstory, that she's like from she trades in France a lot and gets fashion from France, and she's immortal because she's a vampire.
But isn't she not an actual vampire?
Spoilers.
Cut that out.
Cutting it out. But like, she's a vampire. She's lived for a while. Of course, it makes sense that she's gonna adopt old French fashion. I mean, like, what do you do if you're a character designer for a comic and you need to look, okay, 1920s outfits? Then you look at all of them and you go, I can't draw any of these because I'll be stealing them. That's fashion. Like, that's history. That's like you can't redraw George Washington again. Am I insane?
No. I think the people insane are the people claiming this is plagiarism. Because again, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Sorry, but it's not.
It's like you just drew something that looks like a basketball jersey, and the NBA just kicks down the door saying, "What you drawing?" And it's like, well, I drew a simple basketball jersey, and they're like, "You just stole Michael Jordan's outfit." And it's like, what?
We're suing you for $500,000.
Like, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is silly. But we're not done.
No.
We're not done. So this is a huge spoiler warning for Resident Evil Village, probably the second one in this video already. So, timestamp, if you want to skip it, but we're going to be talking about this for the rest of the episode, so you can just probably tune off. I love you. Bye-bye. Subscribe. Okay?
And to be fair, it's not a major spoiler.
It's not a major spoiler, but still a spoiler. Now, the fourth one, we already mentioned, Heisenberg. He basically takes these zombies and he makes them into like mechanical monsters. And someone on Twitter has made a ginormous thread claiming that almost all of his monsters that Heisenberg himself made are all plagiarizing or look very, they pick the deceptively good words of very similar, to avoid controversy, to the 2013 movie Frankenstein's Army. Now, we looked at these pictures already, and almost none of them actually have a decent case.
Almost.
Except for one. And that is the propeller. These things are called strums, by the way.
Sturm.
Strum. Oh, misspelled. Strum. The propeller strum looks way too similar to the one in Frankenstein's Army. Now, you can't say there was obvious, blatant inspiration.
Inspiration, because like it's a little too specific of a character design to have an airplane propeller as someone's entire upper body.
Yeah.
So I can see where it's coming from, but I think it's more inspiration than outright plagiarism.
You know what I think of it? Because I just thought of this now. It's like Digimon, the orange one, Agumon. How that's blatantly inspired by Charmander and Charizard, but like it's not though. But it looks very similar if you don't know what both of them are. Right? Now this is obviously like the two propeller ones. They look way too similar. But
and
like,
we'll obviously have the pictures of each character up on the screen for you.
Yeah, but like it's obvious that like maybe Capcom started with the Frankenstein's Army design and just looked at it and said, how do we improve this to fit the tone of our game? I think that's had to be what happened there. That seems way more, because it doesn't look 100% like it. And also, I don't know what Frankenstein's Army is. So I don't know.
Neither of us had even heard of Frankenstein's Army until this controversy started.
And I don't know if they were even inspired by the movie.
I don't know.
So like it could just be like,
I mean,
coincidence?
It's happened multiple times that like studios, both video game and movies, have been working on very, very similar things at the exact same time. It happened with Half-Life 2 and Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. That's really the only example I can think of at the moment.
Or you could think of how Killer Instinct basically made a whole fighting game roster off of 90s movie trends. I like how Riptor is basically just the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park originally, till they redesigned it.
Yep.
It seems more coincidental, and no one has ever really heard of Frankenstein's army.
Yes.
So maybe if they said, maybe if Frankenstein's army was the inspiration, it'd be nice for them to credit.
That would be
them,
nice.
But like,
Capcom hasn't made a statement about it yet, have they?
Capcom has not made a statement, but like, it feels really weird that like some random obscure movie is like, hey, Japanese people from another country over a sea. Where's my credit? You obviously watched my film. I have like the inner feeling that they're probably looking at him going, who are you? What did you make? As much as it probably, he should absolutely get credit if they did steal it, but if they didn't, if they didn't, it's just gonna look kind of weird. It's like the gray area of copyright with how bad these laws are. But anyway, still a good game. You should still get it.
Yeah.
It's really good. Who cares about Frankenstein's army? I don't. No one watched it.
I didn't.
He didn't.
No, we forgot to talk about how all the other enemies in that area are apparently plagiarized.
Oh, I did. I brought up, like, okay. So they also claim that all the other strewn, like, they look.
The normal enemies are called soldats.
Oh, soldats. Okay. So the other soldats are akin to other monsters, and the thread is such a stretch. Like, none of them look like Heisenberg's monsters.
The only one that maybe was the jet soldat, and that's only because it had a hammerhead-like thing.
If that's the case, I want him to go up to a hammerhead shark and like try to like give it like subpoenas.
And I think the other one was the Panzer soldat, and the only thing that looked familiar was that it had a circle on his face.
Yeah. This thread is really stretching. Like,
listen,
really
listen, director of Frankenstein's army. You know, if that's the case, like, Lego's gonna sue you for copying the Exotoa from Bionicle. This has a circle for a face.
Yeah.
Lego's gonna sue you. I don't know what to tell you, pal.
I mean, and I guess the best part is we're gonna have to be totally honest. The director didn't make this thread. This is some
random dude.
This is some random dude. That's
the
why
director had retweeted the thread, but I don't think he even said anything about it.
When we checked, nothing said.
Yeah.
So that's why when I mentioned this, like the deceptive language of very similar designs, he's instigating something to happen, in which there may be a case. Most likely for all the things in the thread, other than the propeller one, he has nothing.
Yeah. No.
There's nothing. This is going to be a losing battle if he even attempts this. But anyway, I mean, I guess go watch Frankenstein's Army and play Resident Evil 8.
Sure.
Support people.
We'll have a Doritos Connections Mountain Dew movie night with Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah, and by movie night, I mean we're going to do it in separate houses and then watch it and then probably never talk about it or think about it, if we even get to watching it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of our show. Make sure to tell us all about Resident Evil 8, your thoughts, your introspectives, your perspectives.
Tell us why we're wrong.
About why the game is better than 7. Fight me. And with that out of the way, that's the end of our show. I'm Howard.
I'm David.
You have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the set. You're not going to see it again.
Never again.
Never again. Until probably like next episode or something.